Hello, everybody. This is Margaret
And
Susan.
Susan.
We are going to make a video for you with the changes that have just been updated to your, or not updated, you have updated to your software, I was going to say.
This is December 2nd, 2025. So you've already been released the new revisions to the dental program and the acupuncture program, and a few other details in the software we want to alert you to. So we're going to go ahead and show you that. I'm not sure whose screen is being shared at the moment.
Yours. You're going to share. I'm going to draw.
Okay.
That was if I can.
I just realized. Okay.
I lost my tool. Where did my tool go?
Where'd your tool go?
Oh, there it is. Wait.
Okay, so we're on the main matrix, and we're about to go into the dental program. So we just wanted to show you that if we go to the teeth table here, so right now I'm on return to main. If I start typing the word teeth, I immediately go to the teeth on the, whoops, you're going to struggle because I'm on 125%, so I have to switch around. Now, we'll go into programs and into the dental. And here, instead of having the menu where you activated to look at the ISODs, NOSODs, and SARCodes, so if you paid attention to what was showing on the main matrix, if I click SARCodes first of all, we see this is the entire matrix. So the default, when we come here, we see the entire matrix. If we go to SARCodes, we'll see the teeth that were reactive when I chose the teeth category on the main matrix. So we see that the same ones are reactive here. And then we also have our no-sode list. So things that relate to, inflammation, infection, the various bacteria and so on that can affect teeth. So this is customized to the teeth and dental. And then we have the ISODs, which are our man-made filling material for teeth, the various things that are used in dentistry, like this one is a cement, and there can be glues and filling material. So that's the ISOD list.
Like synthetic compounds.
Yeah, synthetic man-made compounds. That's what an ISOD is. And so these ones relate to dentistry. So if we go back to the SARcode, so say you wanted to look at a certain tooth, you would pull that down into the whole field, and then you can check that for, how reactive is that. You can run the check here. And we have an option for a shorter time frame now in the dental panel. So we get reactivity of 98. So that confirms the high reaction on this, the circulation to that lower right tooth. And then we can run the entrainment. So the first option is to check it to confirm the reactivity, and then we can run the entrainment. So we'll just select the 30 seconds just to save on time, because this is just going to be a review of how to use the new dental panel and the layout and the navigation of it.
Exactly.
So after the training is complete, we will get a new value here.
So those of you that are more advanced, obviously, and have used the dental program before, you will see the major changes that have happened here. If you're new, I'm sure that you have not done the training until the advanced course. So then this is just how you will see, be using it from now on. So that's nothing new. It will be nothing new for you here. Oh, sorry, the rectified is here.
So yeah, so we have our rectified at 125. So that's excellent. So that's how we use this part of the dental panel. And you can always come back to this. So if I switch to the teeth tables, we can come, or I think we're going to have it added to the menu, right? Where we can come back to the
Yes.
to the main here. So you can easily get back to this area. Otherwise, you have to close the other panels. All right, so there's another option here too. I don't know if we were in nosodes, for example, and you saw something important or intriguing that you wanted to take to the main matrix. So in the main matrix, when we transfer to main matrix from other programs or panels, it will pull the item down into the bottom hold below the matrix items. So if I was to pull this one and then hit transfer to main, and we'll do that and just quickly come back. So this item goes below at the bottom here, where we could then potentially do our echoes to look for further associations with an item. So that's what's meant by transfer to main matrix when you take an item from another program. All right, back into dental again. All right, so here you might be wondering, why is the dental report grayed out? Well, first of all, you have to do whatever it is you intend to do in the dental program before you go to the report. So you'll have most of your entrainment options taken into consideration when you look at the dental report. So to get the information in the dental report, we need to look at, do some entrainment in the teeth tables, the dental foci, and the teeth chart.
Yes.
The TMJ does not have to be done to get the information in the dental report.
No, or the dental muscles either.
Or the dental muscles, right. So we'll just follow this list in order so we can go to the teeth tables. So this is the 5-element table according to traditional Chinese medicine. So we have our elements at the top, we have the organ systems, connections, sense organ, spinal regions like the vertebrae associated with specific joints, sinuses, tonsils, endocrine, emotion, acupoints. And what we added here were the teeth numbering, so the worldwide system of numbering, and then the North American numbering system. So how this works is we look at our most reactive column or list here. So in this case, it would be the wood element, because we see there's a reactivity value of 134. So since that's our most significant area, we can look at and pay attention to what's the organ system, what are the different associations. And then we can double click here to address that category, that list. So now we're doing some entrainment for it.
And like Susan said, it will address everything that is in the list.
Yeah, so you're addressing the entire column here. So you would use your intuition as far as how many times you address that list. There's not a specific rectification as such. We just get our reactivity profile. So you could do that once or twice. From here, without having to go back to this menu, we can access the dental foci. So dental foci is available here, but you'll also see that the button is here as well. So we click the dental foci, and that gives us a list of potential reactive areas. So we can see that the gums, TMJ, cranium, jaw, and some of the different elements that were shown in the element table here that's underneath this panel. But we can look at the reactivity profile for these different things. So we can look at the high areas. So we have arterial and venous, and there was, when we looked at the sarcodes for the matrix here in the dental program, we saw that there was circulation to one of the teeth. So what's new for those that had the older dental program is that we can actually train these elements. Now, prior to that, this was just information. So now we can train this to raise the body's awareness of these particular concerns.
And that's a
So
very
the
nice feature, actually.
Yeah, this is a really nice feature that has been added. So it's probably going to address our most reactive or underreactive items here.
Yeah, like
We
the
don't
top
get,
highest, top lowest, yeah.
yeah, we don't get a change in the values, but we can now at least run an entrainment for them.
Take away the clear. So this runs about, I think, about a minute. Do I remember that correctly, Susan?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's a minute rather than 45 seconds. And again,
Well,
there's no rectification.
Yeah, so like the element table, the teeth tables, we don't have a rectification, but you can run the entrainment. So along with the dental foci button being available, we also have the TMJ available right on the screen here, but it's also available through the menu. All right, so that is complete. Oh, no.
No, it's not. Maybe it's a longer than 1 minute. No, it's about 1 minute, maybe 1 minute 20. I'm guessing it also depends a little bit on what it is addressing. So there we go. Oh, yes, it's done.
So if we were taking into consideration, so if I close these, and I have to scroll because I have it on 125%. So sorry about that. Scroll down to show you the rest of what's on the panel. Now this close button down here, that closes the entire dental. But the close button here will close the panel that's laying on top. So we have layers in the dental program where these panels are on top of each other. But there's a close button here that will then close and bring us back to what we might now call the main menu in the dental panel. So to bring any of those areas back, we just go to the dental menu at the top. So we were in the teeth tables, and then we had linked into the dental foci. If I click dental foci specifically, it'll take us back there. And we have the option to get to the teeth chart from here as well. So we don't necessarily have to go back to the menu, but the teeth chart is available here as well. So then this takes us into the panel that has the individual teeth. And here
Really
we
nice.
have the North American numbering system on the display here. And so we're going to teach you how to use this part of the panel where we have the upper and the lower. So these numbers that you see here relate to the teeth numbers. So that's how you identify, because this will have the, let's scroll up to the top. So we have the third molar, but we have an upper third molar and a lower third molar, right? So we have the right side, and then we also have the left side. So that's how this is organized. So if we go to the left side down here, scroll down to the bottom, we will have our third molar on the left side. So in this visual here, this is, a mouth facing us. So in that sense, this would be the right side, and this would be the left side. But these are the teeth numbers. So we don't have values here until we run what we want to check as far as the teeth. So if we want to check for infection or inflammation, or say you want to check all these areas, so you can either check all the areas or you could focus in on one area. So the person has some mechanical appliances in the mouth. Do we just want to check that? Or do we want to check other things? So you can pick or choose what you want to check here. And then you run the check. And then this is what will generate the reactive values for us to look at here. So this was nice to add, so we can see some of the associations with the teeth right in the first visual when we come to this panel. Now, when I click on one of the teeth, so what they've done in the programming is they've highlighted the top 5. So with the older software, we had to keep clicking to reduce it to the top 5 reactants. Now that's highlighted in red. So you might get 5 or 6 items highlighted, and this will help you to narrow down which is your top reactant. I think 149 might be my top reactant here. And so if I click on it, and then I can train this particular tooth, once I hit the train, we'll also get all the associations showing up for that tooth. So now we see the specific associations with that tooth in the field right here. So a lot easier to see compared to the older software or the older dental program.
Yes.
And then we will get our values here. So we'll get our reactants, resonance, and rectified for that particular entrainment. So we want to look at reactants. We want to know if the body is resonating with that, and we want to know if there's a nice rectified for that. So you can consult your training material about how to understand these values, but we're just demonstrating the dental program right now.
Exactly.
We also have an overall AFE for dental health. So this is just overall, a combined program to work with everything associated with dental health. So if I pull that up, so just have to wait for that to flick one time so that it shows that it's running the AFE for dental health. And of course, you probably know with AFEs, we have to start it first. So unless I start it, it's not running. So just remember with all AFEs, you have to pull it up. And I don't have a SKIO.
No, I took a screenshot actually.
I have a Quex ED here, so something got a little bit.
But we are also on the beta version, so it might be that.
Yes,
hopefully.
we're running
Let's
the beta
hope so.
version. But if you see that, no, that is just a word error. So, of course, with the AFEs, it's going to start at 50 and continue to go up to 100. And we could also change the quadrant of focus to the head. We're focusing on dental. And then we want to stop this when we are, when we're satisfied with our rectification. So for training, for time constraints, we're just going to go ahead and stop that. And then, of course, after you stop an AFE, then you have to close it. So anything else you wanted to add about this particular?
No, I don't think so. I
panel?
think the teeth table up to the left, or the teeth image, it is the international, this one here. It's the international numbering, because this is from 11 to 48, and the North American is from 1 to 32.
Oh, thanks for that correction. Yeah, so these are the international numbers. My apologies.
I had to double check though.
Yeah, the worldwide ones.
Yes.
We were so busy testing and trying to get things as good as possible before the release.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I close this, so that's overall how you would use this particular panel, and you might want to retrain that tooth. But it's the one that you highlight. You'll see the little square. That's the one that you're going to train when you hit the train button.
I think it's been simplified quite nicely, I have to say.
So I'm having to scroll up and down because of my screen size here, but you'll see now that the dental report is highlighted. However, what we would recommend, like there are the prerequisites that you need to do. So the teeth tables, the traditional Chinese medicine chart, address one of those columns. The dental foci, does that have to be trained? I don't think so. That wasn't necessarily a prerequisite before.
No.
So the teeth tables, the teeth chart.
Yeah, the first three, the teeth table, the dental foci, and the teeth chart. Those three needs to be.
We might ask for reduction in that timer. We'll test the timer and see. But that was pretty long compared to the teeth chart.
Yes, it was quite long. And but like you were saying, Susan, if you want things to be put into the report, then it's better not to open it because you only have one chance of opening it.
If I were to click on that now, it's not going to change. And like as far as the information that gets put in there. So if I'm not finished working with the dental and I want to do more, then don't do the dental report until the very end.
Yes, exactly.
So now we're going to show you the changes and the updates to the TMJ. So click the TMJ here. And we have the different views of the jaw.
Nicer images, more information.
And so if I scroll down, we'll see our button order here. So we're going to check the total. That would be your first step. So this will go through all the different views and check where there might be foci.
Really
and then the second, yeah, much nicer images here. And with all the detail, with the labeling of the different areas. Excellent job there.
Yeah.
So when each of these positions is checked, or not position, sorry, we get to that a little bit later with the TMJ muscles. When each of these views has been checked, we will then get foci.
There you go.
So the foci is the square. So if we look at the different views, we can see where that represents. And then we want to train. So we're training, but it's also checking again, has that foci been reduced? So now we're running the check and train. And then what the goal is, you would continue the check and train until the foci gets smaller and smaller. So the check and train is a little quicker. And go to a different view now and see. So we still have some foci there. Still have foci there.
And even sometimes, like that was also in the previous version, that if you are, for example, training what is on this particular panel, then other things within the other ones will also be trained as well. So the foci might disappear as well or minimize in the other options.
Yeah, very similar to body check and face, where it doesn't matter what view you're doing the entrainment on, that it's still addressing overall. So that's why it's called check and train, because it is checking overall.
Yes.
The TMJ structure. And then we can see that the foci is getting smaller and smaller. So you would continue until all views no longer have foci.
Yes. That would be ideal.
Okay, so we can see it is getting smaller. But again, when you think it's gone, like the view that you might have open, if you think it's gone, still come up here and check the different views just to make sure you don't see it, because it can be off on one view, but it still might represent on another one.
And I mean, this can take a little bit of time as well. Sometimes if it can be a bit stubborn. But with that said, it is focusing on many areas at the same time, so it's not unusual.
I just thought I'd do it one more time while you were talking. Yes. And then we'll move on to the TMJ muscles.
Yippee.
which has the biggest improvement
Yes, the
from the
most
dental.
improvements.
So
So-
we'll close this because the dental muscles was a little bit confusing with the old dental program.
I don't know if
And
they
we
know
still have a few
how
more
to-
changes to come, right, Margaret?
Yeah.
You can explain
Yes,
what's
definitely.
still going to come here.
We are doing some new images at the moment that were old images, of course, in the older version that we wanted to upgrade. So they are in the works. So that would be added. I'm not
Yeah.
going to promise when it will be added because it will take a little time to get everything loaded as we want it. But we will continue to improve, of course, the dental panel as much as we can, because Susan and I, we have endless of ideas, obviously.
To
So-
fine tune things, yes.
To fine tune and add to and stuff like that. So with one of those updates that will be available, then you will see maybe some images that have been added.
Yes,
still.
because this area right here, where it says double click on name to train, these are acupressure points, like in the skull area that a client could hold
Yes.
to help release or relieve their own TMJ. So if they're taught those point locations, they can do that on their own. So if we double click on one of these, it does run the entrainment for that acupressure point. So what's going to accompany this is an actual image, so you can see where those point locations are.
Yes.
So that will be coming to the dental. And then there was one overall image that was in the dental as well that was associated with the results that come here.
That will be the same. There will be an new image here as well. And
All
here we
right.
get actually a resonant reactivity and rectification.
Right. So even addressing these, you do get results
Yes.
for the individual acupressure points.
All
Okay,
right.
so for the dental muscle overview, what we have here is the ability to check these different positions to find out where the most tension is for the muscle groups related to TMJ. And we also have the ligaments. Down at the bottom of the list, and scroll up. So these are our most significant muscles, the masseter, the deep masseter, superficial masseter, temporalis, and so on. So these are the muscle groups. When the images come here, we'll actually have the diagram so you can see where those specific muscle groups are. So that'll be excellent.
Yes.
Now, to get those results, what we're looking at, so the normal position. So if someone were to just either use their finger as a surrogate and just kind of lightly hold that finger between the front teeth, it's an optional thing, doesn't have to be done. Especially if you wanted to do with the clench with spacer in front. But first we click the normal. So the normal is going to give us, just from overall reactivity, the reactive profile for these different muscle groups and ligaments. So clicking normal, so that's already there. That will be immediate. If you wanted to do the clench with the spacer in front, just to add an extra element for the dental program and the calculations and so on, this doesn't come up in this list. But if a client wants to do this, you could have like one of those sports guards that the client would bring and place it in their mouth, and then they would just kind of hold their teeth, against each other, just a moderate, not a strong clench, but you would have them do that and then click the button,
And then you will get.
But that. And that sets everything up. And then we can start with the clench back teeth. So you're asking the client to clench those back teeth and hold it as strong as they can, of course, not, causing any self-injury or anything, but clenching those back teeth and letting them know that this is going to take less than 10 seconds. So they know that they don't have to hold it that long. So you tell them, okay, start, and then you click the clench back teeth. So they're clenching their back teeth, and then you can let them know when to release. When you see the quick CD stop, so then they can release. So what's happening here is it's showing the difference between the normal position and the clenched position of that specific position. You can see it progresses to the next option, but first you want to have a look and check the reactive profile. So you might have to scroll through the list to see where those are. And by the way, it does show us the most significant in the normal view. I missed mentioning that. So overall, the posterior diastric here was the most significant, just overall. But now with this clenched position, this media or medial temporalis becomes the most significant with that difference between the normal and the clenched here. So to address it, we click on it and then train that particular muscle. And then we'll get our resonance, reactivity, and rectified. And then according to your training, you learn to understand how to relate to the resonance, the reactivity, and the rectified with each entrainment.
So what has been simplified here, Susan, correct me if I'm wrong, now everything is automatically calculated, because before in the older version, we kind of had to use our brains a little bit to get that calculation between the difference between the normal and the set value
Exactly.
that would show up.
So in the older, we should have had pictures of the older.
I was wondering where we have, oh, I do have a picture. I will find it. Continue talking.
So what happened with the older format? I'll just go ahead to the new one here. I've got some good results here for that entrainment. So protrude jaw, they would stick that lower jaw out, and I'll just run it while we're describing it. But they're going to protrude that lower jaw, stick it out, and as strong as they can, and hold that for the 10 seconds. So that you can get an accurate evaluation of what is the change from from the normal to that position. What happened in the older software, you would get these lists all over the screen with values. You would have to do the calculation in your head yourself of what is the difference. So this is the major change here for working with the TMJ muscles. We don't have to do all these mathematical calculations and realize what is the biggest difference. Like, for example, this one was 155, 156, and the other normal one here was the highest normal one was 200 and something.
200, yeah.
So each time you're having to look at the difference between these values and the numbers that come up on the screen and try and determine which one had the significant difference. But now it's all calculated in the programming.
Which is fantastic.
So with each different exercise that the client's doing and holding that position, we get to know where the significant stress is. So instead of entraining all these, we'll just go through the positions, because we need to go through all the positions to come to the concluding area.
I don't know if you can open the chat, Susan, in Zoom and show them the picture, how it was. I shared the picture image there. You might not.
My Zoom controls. Where are we? Oh, there we go.
Do you see it? I don't know if
can this enlarge?
Yes.
Okay, there it is. So here we have So what Margaret is showing you here are the differences between, this is really small. I don't know if I can zoom in a bit here.
Oh yeah, you saw it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
so this is the old panel. These were the different positions that you would do. And each time you would get, this is like displaying the normal. And then if you clicked over here, the difference, then you would get the negative values here. So you had to determine yourself and calculate. So it was difficult. You had to go run around here with your eyes and try and find the most significant value and then hit the difference and see which one actually needs the entrainment. So yeah, so this is awesome. We can now
now we can relax and let technology do things for us. And how do we turn this off?
How do I get back to my meeting? Oops.
That's a good question. Wait, we go back to the control. Where's the control? Wait, I'm going to pause just a second. Okay. There we go.
So we'll just continue on with the different views or different positions, sorry, that the client is doing. So they're moving their jaw to the right. They're holding that as hard as they can in that position for those few seconds. And then again, the programming calculates which is the most significant difference for that particular position. So again, then you can, when you click on them, then you have the ability to train each one. So we'll just continue the positions. And if you use your screen at 125%, like I'm doing, you have the ability to scroll up and down to get to the different options. So there's your train muscle option there. And we're going to continue the position. So we have the frown and the smile left to do. So they're going to do an exaggerated frown and hold that tension for the 10 seconds. And then we get our results, and we should have our highest reactive for that difference, which relates to that particular muscle. And so the last position we have left is an exaggerated smile, holding that tension for the less than 10 seconds. And so now we have the last category, and it's the frontalis that would be trained. Okay, so sometimes you'll see certain muscles that repeat, and that makes them more significant for the overall TMJ.
Yes. So,
and
I mean, sorry, Susan.
Go ahead. And I was just going to say
No,
that the last option is to do the clench again with the spacer, but you don't get it doesn't put results here.
so I
Go
mean,
ahead,
we have
Mark.
the two. Yeah, we have the two options of doing entrainment. I mean, I would do a entrainment after each position, right? Yes.
Yeah, we were just kind of speeding through it for time constraints.
Exactly.
But yeah, each position you're going to get a result. So it's to your advantage to support the client by doing the entrainment for those stressed areas.
Yes, as you go.
I mean, there's something here that's always been here in the TMJ panel, in the TMJ muscle panel. Displacement to the left and displacement to the right. So if a person got a blow to the jaw and they have displacement to the left, you could potentially put in the millimeter of displacement here.
Yeah, to put extra focus on that.
Yeah.
As well. Okay.
So down towards the bottom here or underneath this table where we see our results, then we have another button that says results. So this opens up another panel where we can run some overall entrainment. So if we wanted to just kind of finish off with some balanced muscle training or pain reduction training, addressing the dental nerves or dental trauma. So we have a timer here that we can use. So, 1 minute, and then address one of these that is most applicable for the client. And I forget how far this one goes. Is it 30?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, 30
And
minutes.
this is just available after you've done actually all the positions, right?
Right. So if I go to 0 and the gray out, if I just go back to the 1 minute, we have the option to run those entrainments. All right.
Okay.
Anything else, Margaret, that I'm forgetting?
I don't think you have forgotten anything in
So
this
as far as
at all.
the dental muscles. So if I
It
use
has
the
been,
clothes
it has
down
been made
here,
very easy, I would say that.
no longer having to calculate all those differences in your brain.
And you can
And
see
also,
them clearly as well.
yeah, before you had to keep an eye on what were the most reactive and then look at the difference between the most reactive to the negative value.
Exactly. Then we just have that focused options. And we have 3 things.
So this has been added, the focused options. So some really nice options in here for entrainment. So amalgam residue relief, addressing cavity, gingivitis. Some of these were in the original dental. Infection, inflammation, dental muscles, oral microbiome support, dental nerves, pain reduction, re-energized tooth, address plaque, root canal relief, TMJ relief, and trauma relief. So you have these options and you have the timer here as well.
And this is ideal to be used with any accessories as well. Like if you have a point probe or a QX pin, the meridian pads.
Yeah, any of those things. Some other users with other devices might have face veil.
Yes.
Yeah, so those things can be applied to the area while you're doing this. And remember, with any kind of probe or accessory, as long as it's connected, it's going to be active. There's no specific thing that you have to do in the software to make that active.
Exactly. And I mean, I've tried a few of these and they are actually quite powerful. I've tried the TMJ relief.
Yeah.
And the inflammation, because I probably told you some months back I had
right,
like very stiff in the left side of my neck up to the TMJ, and it had been like that. I couldn't move my head very well.
Oh wow.
For almost 2 years because of a car accident. And then I tried this combination, and the night after I slept one night, woke up and it was gone.
Wow.
It was a 2-year strain on this area.
Whoa, I didn't realize it was a 2-year.
Yeah, it had been such a long time, and I've been going to fascia massage and everything.
Oh wow.
But I did 20 minutes of the TMJ relief and I think 10 minutes of the inflammation.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's
I can
quite the testimonial.
Yeah.
The other nice little feature here is that we do have this little timer here as well. So
yes,
if I'm running one of these, you'll see your progression. So you'll know how many seconds you have left or minutes or whatever. And then it'll give you a list also in here. It'll kind of do a recap of the items that you did some entrainment with.
And you see the rectifications as well.
And this is where your rectification shows up. I don't know. Did we have more to say? I mean, I could run one of these just to...
Maybe just to show it. And we just added this beautiful thing, the oral microbiome support. Mm-hmm. There is more to come. We have a list. I'm always excited.
Yes, so we can expand this program as well.
Yes. I don't think you will be disappointed.
So the is working is kind of coming in and out here.
Yes. But that's okay because you have the timer, so the timer will
And the timer
demonstrate
is
that
doing
it's-
the countdown here.
I actually like these little timers. They're very helpful. It's actually quite tiny this time. There we go. Everything's very clean cut, I think. Very nice. Well organized.
I really like the layout.
Yes, me too. And there we go.
All right,
Because
so we
when
should
you
see
get
your
information, so after you get the information up, then you can see if you need to, want to run it again, if you want to get the rectifications more appropriately done. I think it's running a little bit more than a minute. Wow.
So let's take note of that.
Yeah. But it could be because that's the new. Could it be because you put it on 2 minutes before and then it
Reduced
went
it to two, to one?
Yeah,
Yeah, sure. So we got a good, nice rectified there. And
Beautiful.
again, it'll do a review of the ones that you address.
Yes.
So
It's actually quite nice. There we go.
all right, so we'll come back here and then we can do our dental report.
Beautiful.
And here's some information from the little bit that we did in this particular session. Okay, so the blood circulation, that was one of the teeth that I addressed when I was in the sarcodes here. So it's showing that one in the dental report. And you can actually copy the information that you get here. So you can highlight it, copy, put it into a Word document or something like that if you like. And then we also have the ability to train the items that are in the report or do an overall AFE. Let's just make sure this. So this one does have our Quark CD. Just want to make sure. I knew the other ones did. That teeth one surprised me. So here, again, it's an AFE, so you would have to start it, stop it, and then close. And again, you could have your quadrant of focus on the head.
So nice options for the report. Like I say, like Susan mentioned before, I would probably do it in the end of being in this panel. So
yeah,
you can
do
get
everything
as much information.
Exactly. So do everything that you want to address before finalizing the report and maybe doing the final entrainment in the report.
So that's like actually the new dental. Well, we have one feature left that we were waiting till the end though. That is, oh, yes. Yeah, the references there.
Yeah, so here we can link to the acupuncture program. We can link to the cranial sacral program. And we can link to the short sarcodes.
Yes.
So let's do the cranial sacral. Or will we go there and show just the change? It's been updated with some images, which is really nice.
And there are more images to come.
So we do that after this.
Yes.
We want to take you to the acupuncture program and show you the changes there, and we'll take you to the cranial sacral as well. Anything else to add before we finalize this one? I think in memos, I don't know if the help memo was updated, but I had some instructions.
I do not think we updated it yet, Susan.
Okay. There will be some overall instructions in here about using the dental muscle program for sure.
Yes. The only thing left to show here is the Clifford.
Right. So we have this ISOD list that is is part of the different matrices here in the dental program. But there is one other access to a much larger list of items that are used in dentistry, and it's called the Clifford matrix. So if we check the Clifford matrix, we'll see the ISO list change quite dramatically with other with a reactivity profile and a list of those ISOs.
And this Clifford matrix that it's called now, because that is the right term for it. It is before it was called the Clifford report, and that made a lot of much
confusion. Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of confusion between the regular report, and some people thought it was the Clifford report, but it's a Clifford matrix. So these, as you can see, for, we're not 100% sure why, but the reactive value for these runs from 0 to actually really high values. But the same thing applies. You can address these the same as you would anything else on these matrices. If I double click, if I drag, that item goes here. And again, we can do the check and the training.
Yeah, you use it just the same as before. That's the only.
Yeah,
well,
and then
yeah.
The other thing, there's the current Clifford matrix and the check Clifford matrix. But basically, it's the same thing. I don't know why anyway.
No, I don't know. I think we just need one of them, actually.
Yeah.
Well, no, because if we go back into the...
say I go to this one.
Yes.
Right. So then it'll bring it back into view. That's right.
Yes. So yeah, I can switch between them.
So if I switch back to nosodes or the regular isodes, and you want to bring the Clifford matrix back after it's done, you can just do that. Yeah.
So I think we have covered the matrix. No, matrix.
The dental panel.
Dental panel. So I hope you like it, guys. I mean, yeah. I like it. I'm really happy with what we have achieved with giving it a facelift. So, and we, like I said before, we will add some new things to it. So that would be. This
was in the works since last March, April.
Yeah, we were in Budapest, March.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's everything takes time. We do our best to do what you ask us to do or add what you ask for, but some things just take longer time, but the results are great. All right. I'm going to pause and we are going to take a look at the acupuncture panel next. Before go leave the dental panel, Susan is going to show you the potential new images that we are talking about.
So this one is for, and of course it's going to be smaller in the software, but I've got this enlarged so you can see it. So these are the ones for the Acupressure for the TMJ. So the client would find those, or as you saw, I trained that one, and actually we did get a rectified value for training that one. So here's another image that we'll have in the dental panel. So yeah, so a nice upgrade.
And also that you can actually read what,
yeah, and find out where the frontalis, muscles are, where the temporalis muscles are, and so on.
Yes.
In relation to TMJ.
So hopefully soon. We're just finalizing it. So very excited about it.
Yeah.
All right.
So next we wanted to show you the changes in the automeridian program with the updated acupuncture pictures. So for the automeridian, we can access it through, of course, the universal biofeedback therapy, but also through the picture access. But this takes you right into the specific Acupuncture program, whereas this is our general entry through the universal biofeedback therapy panel and into the automeridian. And in this particular case, the automeridian has been completed. So we can access the Acupictures and conscious form check through here. And immediately it shows us the default bladder 1 acupuncture point. So here's our new images, and then below we get descriptions. So we can scroll through our various options here. So GB34, for example. And we have a scroll bar with much more detail for each particular point and its uses, as well as the which school of acupuncture is this from? You told me the other day. So the particular point names, because there's various schools of acupuncture, and they sometimes name the points different.
Dr. Hung. Just double check. I think it was Dr. Hung.
And when that point is selected, it will show here under Enter Target Point. You know how to use the main acupuncture program, which has always been there, where you can, enter an area, do your superconscious choice, and check and train. So what we're showing you is the ability to choose a particular acupuncture point where maybe you're intending to use an accessory or probe to address that particular area of the body very specifically with the probe. So you have a nice image to see where that point location is. And then the other option under integrative options for that particular point that you're choosing to use, what is an association that you want to have while you're doing that specific focus of that point with the accessory or probe. You can leave it on blank if you just want, you don't want an individuated focus, but if you do want a specific focus, emotional release, relaxation, stimulation, detox, pain relief, then you would make one of those choices. So you make the choice, and then you do the individual point focus. So now this is addressing that particular point with this focus, and we will get our resonance and coherence. And as with the rest of the automeridian program, we're training your specific options here, whether you're using the superconscious search. We still always look for like a high, maybe in the 90s, 90s or higher for our values. So this one would be repeated. We'll just do that one. It's fairly quick.
So these are the main changes within this program. So all new images, better information, and the individual point focus with integrative options. But everything else will work the same as before. The consciousness form test, superconscious search, and the check and train. Am I forgetting something, Susan?
No. And I apologize me having to scroll around here. But again, really, really liking the new images and the new information. Just, there was only a little bit of information on the screen next to the point. So this is much more detailed than before. And a lot of points that there wasn't a lot of information, the extraordinary points. So the EX, these ones, a lot more detail about these.
Yes.
And also the location. So that's a huge update for
This has
the
also taken many
automeridian.
months.
Yeah. And yeah, so the REN for the REN channel and the governing vessel, those are now, you know, identified as well in this entire new list.
Yes.
All
Looks
right.
very
So
nice.
were we just going to go from here into the cranial sacral then? Include that now?
Yes, we can do that. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, what we wanted to cover too, down at the bottom here,
Oh, yes.
where you would typically activate your man fly. We have a new image that really beats our old blue man in space.
Yes.
One little detail at the time of recording is that it doesn't remain checked when the image goes away, and it's almost a little bit too long, but this should stay checked. So that's a little tweak that we've notified the programmers to correct. The other thing is we're working on a change for the pranic energy pattern. So for those that have had older software, we used to have energetic link. You used to have to click that, and then it would say expand name, and then you used to have to click that, and then the pranic energy would finally open up on your screen. With this update, we wanted the pranic energy pattern to open it immediately. However, we are working on a new graphic, a new little panel for that. So in the meantime, as long as you're scrolled all the way to the bottom here, you'll see that you can activate the pranic energy pattern for the time set here. And I'll just use 0 minutes because for time constraints, we don't have to wait for a minute. And it automatically starts. The other tweak we're waiting for here is that you can properly see the rectification when the progression is complete, or the value for the entrainment. So we have the progression bar first, and then when complete, the rectification should be visible here, but unfortunately it is not. But we can see that this is like a 98 or something like that, just by how far that goes. Yeah, so that is how you access it there. So it's immediate. So as soon as you click that button, it's not opening the panel, it's actually running it. And the default will be on 0, which is about 30 seconds, 25, 30 seconds.
Exactly. So that's that. Well, while we are here, Susan, maybe we should take the bioresonance.
Right. So a while back, you did get in a previous release the new layout here for the frequency generator, the scalar, and the bioresonance, or BRT, where we didn't have the full information for utilizing the program, but it is quite simple. You'll be downloading a document that will be available to you in your media center on the website. And this document contains all the different program numbers that can be used. So if I scroll through the document, you'll see, so for example, foot meridian and foot points, and whether it's acute or chronic, you would choose the applicable number for that, depending on the situation for the client. So these are hand meridian numbers. And then there is the definition of the H, the DI, the AI. The definitions are here for those meanings. And then some extended program numbers and the description of what those numbers might be used for. So when you have this, then you can look for a concern that you want to address. And then you would just choose that number and put it into the program number.
And just to point out, everything else that was on or was available in the older version, you had like amplify, you had wobble on, you had other settings. Everything is now integrated within the programming of the bioresonance, so it's automatically
So when you
sets.
choose that program number,
Yes.
it's going to choose the applicable association.
Yes.
And then you can see the start is grayed out until we enter a time. So if I erase the 0 and put in my 1 minute, we now have the option to run this program number for 1 minute.
So it couldn't get any easier than this, I think.
And this does not have to be set up to go with these two. We'll mention that as well. So they can each be used independently now. However, a lot of people like to use the frequency generator along with the scalar generator. So those two can be set up together as per usual. Do we need to review any of that, or they have it?
I don't. They should have it in their.
Yeah, and there was also
the
last PDF release for the former changes, the previous OMNIS software release. That is also available in your as a document in the media center as well.
Yes. You will also notice there have been some language changes, nothing major, but everything is the same. But we have done it as such that things are relating from one panel to the other. So we are using the same phrases in most of the cases. What was the phrase we have for the long term?
Yeah, enable ongoing entrainment, I believe.
Yes.
So if we just quickly go to time therapy, music, super learning, time training. So a lot of parts of the software, they had the option where you could check. So meaning that if this was set for 2 minutes, it would go to almost the end of the 2 minutes, and then it would activate the internal prayer wheel program inside the software. So this was stated in 3 different ways, maybe more, throughout the software, and it wasn't consistent. So this is one of the things that we're trying to do, is have this consistency of what makes the most sense of what this button is actually doing in the different options. So I think another place is in the dark field, for example, in the blood training, and various places.
Biofeedback,
and the time panel. Yeah.
That's just on top of my head.
The other thing that we wanted to show was the cranial sacral. So we just got a nice update there. More updates to do in that program, but
that's
a
just
nice
the
new
first image.
a little teaser
of what's
image. Coming. Yeah, a little teaser of what's coming.
Yes.
So you would run the check and train here, and we have the square instead of the circle, which would put, the foci position, and then you would continue your entrainment here. I thought it just might be nice to show the short SAR codes and the
I think
the list there, and if you can think of anything else before we finalize. For a lot of us that don't like to use the system at 100%, where you have teeny tiny text, and have it at 125%, I now have the ability to use my close and add additional, where it was way over to the side here and I couldn't use it at 125%. So now everything is kind of available on the screen at 125%. Yes. So we have our close and the add additional option here. In the SAR code menu, so we talked about the change of these labels. What was I can't even remember now what it was before.
ear plus etc.
Ear plus etc. So we relabeled this. So if I click on SAR codes now, we have mainly SAR codes in this list, and a much longer extended list now, where you can actually scroll through and see all these additional options now available. And images, and some of the images have been updated in here.
There's a lot of work been done here. I mean, a lot of things still to go, but we are getting there, I think. Uh,
Can you think of anything else?
I think two other things. So if we go into spinal, because we have been using it for such a long time, the beta, so we kind of forget,
Yeah,
what we have
what
added.
you guys have and what you
Yeah.
don't.
But under time biofeedback therapies, we have two additional things, which is the appendix and the tonsils.
Oh, but they didn't
I
get any
think
alphabetical. Yeah,
not yet. But I think the last time we had an update here, we did add the gallbladder and we did some other things like bone plus marrow plus pulse, and then new
right.
thymus. You have
Right.
that on your previous PDF, but the newest things here are the appendix and the tonsils.
Right.
So I thought that was a great
Yes.
addition.
Yes.
And I think lastly, Susan, maybe just a short view of the electrophysiological oscillation. I think
Oh,
then
yes.
we have kind of covered most of it.
Most of you have been using this already, but and just so you know, whenever you hear us say EPO, and we're talking about this one, electrophysiological oscillation. So we have an updated heart graphic, updated graphic here, simplified button names.
Some different images will be coming here soon as well.
Yeah, like the virtual morphic trance. We have no image there at the moment, but we will be having one added.
But everything works the same, but the layout is a little bit different, and think milder colors as well. So it's easier to navigate.
It's not such a small screen. It opens up a little bit wider, and associations to other panels like the aging TTMS. Whenever you see that, we like our abbreviations for the long names: time, therapy, music, super learning.
Exactly.
And BSR, and biofeedback systemic relaxation.
And what is it? UPS? UPS.
What was that?
I said UPS.
Yeah, universal biofeedback therapy, UBT.
not UPS. I think, well, then maybe lastly, I mean, we do have added matrix items as well.
Yes, of course.
I think we have over 1,200 matrix
So if I go to order of remedies, substance order, and go down.
So everything after 11,000 would be new additions,
so
I think.
These are me playing around in my matrix, but these are, so you see we now have 12,762 items.
So I mean, we get a lot of things sent to us, and we are asked to implement things into the program, and we always make lists, and we do our best to get things done. And I think Andrea was very diligent with the list we had. So if you have asked for something to be put in the matrix, please take a look if it's there. It might be not, but we have done what we can so far.
Applicable sample that they can
we have the
use.
medicinal mussels, medicinal mushrooms there as well. And all the new dental materials from Silky was added there. I think also the Schultz tissue salts have been added. So it's quite a long list that was added. I think it was over was it 1,200 or 2,000?
No,
1,200?
1,270 or something like that.
Yeah, 1,270 new items there. So hope you like what we managed to do this year. So we have been quite on it this year with a lot of things and still a lot in the works. But I think that's the main things that have, like the main changes we have at the moment, Susan. And of course, I mean, some language updates, we don't need to go into any details. But if you close out, maybe go to the main panel, then we have made one change here as well, and that is the prayer program. So instead of it be called about, now it's prayer program.
So it's the actual prayer program.
Yes. Another prayer program. We have a few. But it's still the same as it used to be, but we just changed the name because about didn't really tell you what you were doing there.
Right. So, so just so you know, when you're opening the software now, the applicable button will be ready because the demographics is the first place that you have to go. And some of these other programs, you shouldn't be entered because you haven't even gone into demographics, you haven't entered your client, you haven't calibrated your client. So access to these other options here does not make sense because they're not going to have the current client information. So only the applicable only the applicable buttons are available. Demographics or add item to the matrix. I think the prayer program might be available at that point as well. So we just thought we'd mention that as well. All right.
And like you say, it will be available after you do your main features. I think that's it for now, Susan.
Okay. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Hope you like what we've done. So until next time. Bye. Thank you, Susan.
You're welcome.